the wish of every job seeker that when they apply for a job, they'll be called back for an interview. But sometimes this doesn't always happen. And in this video, I would want to share with you what employers look for in a CV. I feel it's important because on a daily basis, I interact with candidates at corporate staffing. I'm the one who heads the recruitment function, so at any given time, it's my work to make sure that I'm recommending the best candidates or the candidates who fit what a client is looking for. So you normally find the first thing that I, as a recruiter or as an employer, would be interested with is what I call transferable skills. So normally we go directly to the work experience. And here we'll compare your work experience with the job description that we have. So I feel sometimes candidates don't understand that really what they write in terms of work experience, it is so critical, you know, and determines whether they go to the next level. I'll give an example. If you look at a job description, and you normally find this in form of an advert, where they've listed, say, I'll give an example of a communication job. And here the advert states that you must have digital marketing skills. So if that's key, I'll try and see in your CV whether you have that. Now the problem with candidates is sometimes they don't take time to make sure they match the two. I'm not saying word for word, and I'm not saying you lie, but at least if digital marketing is something that you do, at least it's good to have it also in your CV, such that when I look, I'll see that clearly, yes, you have that skill. So I would say work experience really counts. It accounts for, I would say, 70% of the marks. Because at the end of the day, what we want is someone who can be able to deliver on the job. So, and that will be showcased by your work experience. The other thing that we consider, also again this touches on the work experience, is the extent. And here we'll look at the number of years. The number of years is really, it's a good indicator of the kind of experience you have. Yes, you might have said you've done A, B, C, D, and probably that is also what I'm looking for. But then again, if you've done this for 6 months as opposed to someone who's done 3 years, and I'm looking for someone with 4 years, I would be more inclined to go with this someone who has the 3 years of experience. So I feel that is key. The other thing we're able to look at is the education background. This is important. What kind of training do you have? You know, and does it match with what the client is looking for? If I'm asking for an undergraduate and you only have a certificate or a diploma, then you can see why now I'll probably go with the degree holders as opposed to you who has a diploma. And this is where the competition comes in. The more people who have the skills and the work experience that the employer is looking for, more than you, the lesser the chances you get for an invite. The other thing an employer would be interested with is, again, evidence of soft skills, things like leadership, communication skill, interpersonal skills. And this one we'll be able to determine is if you have listed your achievements and also extracurricular activities. Assume I'm recruiting for a position in sales, and you have 2 candidates. One has just listed what they do, you know, their duties and responsibility. And you have another one who's listed the duties and the responsibilities, but they've gone further and indicated the achievement. Maybe they raised sales by 20%, sales revenue by 20%. They opened new market. Who would you pick? I'm sure your answer would be someone who's listed the achievements. If we go to the hobbies, yeah, depending on the level, you may think they're not important, but they give an insight into the kind of person you are. If I'm looking for someone with leadership skills, and here you are saying beyond work, your extracurricular activities is that you are a chair person at your church or mosque and you read this department or something like that, I'll sort of have an idea of the kind of skills, leadership skills that you possess. So I would say those are the main considerations, that is in terms of the work experience, education background, and evidence of soft skills. Then If you have all that, we'll go further and even look at the presentation. How is your CV structured? Am I able to get the information at a go? You know, are you making it easy for me to understand where you are coming from? Because look at it this way. You've sent a CV to a total stranger. You are 100 of you or 200 or even 1,000. Sometimes we get applications numbering thousands. It is your duty, not mine, to make my work easy. And you do that by making sure the information you present it in a coherent and understandable manner, an easy format. You might be the most qualified person, you might have the most relevant work experience, but if the information is jumbled all over, I'll make an assessment of you based on that CV, and the chances of you progressing further, they are really limited. It's not different from you going to a hotel and you find they are disorganized. You find the tables are not cleaned, they are not wiped, the waiters are not well dressed up. I mean, what would you think of this establishment? Even if they are calling themselves a 5-star establishment and they don't have, the place is not in order, you'll pass a negative judgment. So the same applies to our CV. When strangers interact with it, what message do they get? So our first step would be ask your colleagues, ask your friends. You know, what do you think when you see my CV? You know, you could also approach professional CV writing companies, and that's one of the services that we offer for a critique. Let someone have a look at it objectively. And I'm sure from the feedback they give you, you can be able either to edit or they can edit for you. So it just depends on your capability. So with those few pointers, I hope I've been able to shed some light on what employers really look for in a CV. And next time, before you apply for a job, make sure your CV is really selling you, because it's the only document that is a representation of you. For more tips, subscribe today to our channel, and you'll be receiving videos now and then.